Thank Mr. Liu Taige's introduction. After 1987, I have been engaged in the study of China's rural area, and from there, I shift my attention to the city area, to the city urbanization. Now, I would like to spend 10 minutes to talk about China's urbanization. First, in May 3rd, we have the conference on EU-China Urbanization Partnership held in Brussels. Mr. Li Keqiang, Vice Premier, had a talk with Mr. Barroso. They signed a joint declaration. And this shows China's government has paid great attention to the urbanization. China now has a large city population. Many people worry that what the consequence will be China's urbanization. The first question will be the 690 million urbanization population in the city. Will that increase the carbon emission? Will they bring risks to the world? Second, many friends in Europe are concerned about the opportunity brought about by China's urbanization. What kind of investment opportunities? Because it's a huge consumption and investment market. So from this point of view, we can see China's urbanization has a great consequence for the world. Therefore, Mr. Li Keqiang has emphasized that. And China's urbanization wants to be sustainable. And the second point is on reform. They want to borrow from the experience of Europe. This, for China, is a very important signal. Next, I want to talk about China's current situation on urbanization. China's urbanization is different from the other countries. Mainly it's because we have very high speed. Now it's about, before it's like 36%, and now the urbanization rate is about 51.3. This is higher than any other countries in the world. And we estimate the rate of urbanization will slow down, but to what extent the rate will be going down. And there will also be changing land use in urbanization. Before we have a high speed in the in the coastal town, coastal cities, and now the west and the central region, we see fast urbanization rate. We see the we see the fast urbanization rate in the central and the western, central and the eastern, central and the western region.
And we can see the urbanization speed has gone up very much in the inland, other than the coastal land in the recent years. This is a real change. And secondly is the scale of urbanization. And we can see our administrative towns of about 50,000 towns, but we also have 20,000 towns, and that means these towns are small and medium sizes, and these are very important. We can see we have 5 cities past 10 million populations, and 200,000 to 400,000. You can see the numbers here in this picture. Because of this change, and we have 20,000 small and medium cities. These are the focus of our policy. However, what kind of issues we need to solve? 2 issues. First is the urbanization of rural migrant workers. We have to give them more public services. That means a lot of the rural workers cannot enjoy the same benefits. And then we also have a lot of the other migrants who are from university graduates, and we need to give them, we want to let them enjoy more benefits. We have to do reform. And to these migrant workers, we have to improve our public services so that they can enjoy the same or equal benefits as the other citizens in the city. The second issue is in our urbanization, we have to really do land reform, because the land urbanization speed is surpassing the population urbanization speed. And we can see as the economic growth comes from and the fact that the low cost of the rural workers. Secondly is the contribution of the land. If we have the same situation as India and a lot of Southeast Asian countries, we have a lot of the labors. However, China has a policy. We can force the rural people to give up their land. So next step, we have to really compensate the rural areas and to do reform so that we can be better prepared for the further urbanization. The third is to support the small and medium cities. And in China, we have too many mega cities who attracts a lot of the resources. So in the future, we need to inject these resources to the medium, small cities. So what method should we take to support these neighboring small and medium cities? First is in the distribution of administrative resources. We have to give the small and medium towns more support. Secondly is we have to have a special fund. And the third, we have to really invest in infrastructure, especially in traffic, transportation. The third is we have to support a lot of the transformation of the industries. The last is we want to talk about that urbanization and its impact to the enterprises. And it's a very important investment sector. So we would have the demand for housing and consumption and infrastructure. And we can see a lot of the cities in China are facing the lack of infrastructure support. And a lot of the cities need to sell their land in order to support the further development of the cities. So we are facing challenge. We need inflow of investors into China, and we need to do some reform. Some infrastructure development and management has to be privatized. At the same time, we need to investment of consumption. For example, this 690 million people, over 200 million are from rural areas, and these people have the ability to settle in the city for a long run. So we need to really improve our services to them so that they can have the ability to consume. And this is a very important opportunity for us. The third is, and in our investment opportunities, is how can we choose the investment? We pay attention to the housing in the big cities because lack of resources, and we believe that in the core areas the price of housing in big cities will keep going up because of the population. At the same time, the neighboring cities, the small and the medium cities, will cause a better resource distribution. China's urbanization covers a lot of areas. The Chinese government is determined to do a better job so that the cities can be sustainable. And we hope that the international investors and friends will come to Chinese cities to invest. We would like to thank the Singaporean government to organize this In Focus China session. Thank you.